should turn on and rush them all.
Hi, it's Gerald Murphy here of the International Wrestling Podcast on today, March 21st. Just a bit of news to tell you about before I get into my top 5 list. Yes, it's a top 5, I'm not going to say Fave 5. It's been confirmed on WWE.com and at SmackDown this last night that Yokozuna will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. No word general who will induct Yokozuna. It's also been confirmed that Christian will induct Edge into the WWE Hall of Fame. Also, WWE, in conjunction with Triple H, have released a statement saying that FCW would not be closing down anytime soon. But still, if something like that breaks, there must be some kind of truth behind it. Also, Kurt Angle released a bunch of bizarre tweets again last night on his Twitter account, calling people assholes, dickheads, and faggots. And his last one was a funny one, if you're really going to say, that he loves midget wrestlers. They are main eventers. Very interesting stuff by Kurt Angle. I'm sure we will get a tweet later today from him saying his account was hacked again, but you never know. Well, Brian gave you a very good list yesterday of his top 5 Intercontinental title matches from WrestleMania. Well, I'm going to have a look back here now as my top 5 opening bouts of WrestleMania history. This is the first match to take place on the proper pay-per-view and not the dark matches. And coming in at number 5 is Alberto Del Rio and Edge from last year. Look, I know this was for the World Heavyweight Championship and all that, but go back and watch this match. It's a good match. It's a good, solid wrestling match. There was good moves in it. You had the outside interference which brought it up a bit, and then you had the in-ring action between these two. Del Rio's not that bad, and neither is Edge. The placing was shocking, don't get me wrong, but still, it's a great, great match. And number 4 is Chris Jericho versus William Regal from WrestleMania 17. This was a very interesting match because you had the flamboyant, arrogant Chris Jericho going up against the snob William Regal. Very good match, very grounded match for Y2J as well, because when Y2J first was really coming in, he was doing a lot of the Looper AJ style, you know, the high flying and stuff like that. It was really, other than his work with Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, the previous WrestleMania, he never really did mat wrestling as well as he did with William Regal. And that was a very good way to open up, which I think is the best WrestleMania of all time. And number 3, it's the Money in the Bank from WrestleMania 23. Look, I know I said on a previous podcast that my favourite Money in the Bank is from WrestleMania 24. Now, if that opened WrestleMania 24, that would be here. But WrestleMania 23, I think, is well better than WrestleMania 25's Money in the Bank. It was good. You had a great winner, Mr. Kennedy. I'm always upset he never got to go on and win the belt, but you know, injuries and then the stuff with Randy Orton prevented all that. But you had, look at the caliber of talent you had in this match. Booker T, Randy Orton, Edge, Jeff Hardy, right there, 4 world champions inside of Money in the Bank. And then outside that, you had Kennedy that was on the upcoming. You had Finlay, who was a veteran, and you had Edge. You know, it was just such a good Money in the Bank. The spots were great. The wrestling in it was great. There was a great move on Hornswoggle from Kennedy off the ladder. And of course, who can forget that sick bunk from Jeff Hardy onto Edge off the ladder from the inside to the outside. Personally, it's my second favourite Money in the Bank, but for WrestleMania openers, it's probably my third favourite match. Now, my top 2, I really had a toss-up, and it took me a long way to decide, and I know I'm probably going to get some stick, like Brian got some stick yesterday, but I have to go with my number 2, Owen Hart, Bret Hart. I know a lot of people have to say that this has to be number 1. It was the best ever opener to a WrestleMania. When I discuss what my favourite one is, I will give the points, but the reason that this match is so good is that these guys wanted to prove what Hearts were all about. And Owen Hart wanted to prove that he was as good as his brother Bret, And he proved it in this match. This is probably Owen Hart's one of his best performances, and a bigger compliment, it's probably one of Bret Hart's best matches. Now look at all the great matches that Bret Hart had, and you could put this up with any of them and it wouldn't fall flat. It was a great match, and what was so great about it was the ending. No one expected Owen Hart to get the win over Bret. But outside that, the moves they did, they went 20 minutes nearly with just complete wrestling, which is so good. There was no spots, there was no nothing like that. It was just 20 minutes of great wrestling. And now we get to the number one match that I think was the best match ever to open a WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero from WrestleMania 21. Now look, the reason I'm after picking this over the Hart's match is that the first time I watched the Hart's match, I watched it on tape. I was too young at the time to actually observe it. So like, I never experienced the rivalry between them two. But with Eddie and Rey, I was watching it live, I was seeing it then, and it was a great match. It really was. You had the high flying stuff, the grounded stuff, the work outside the ring, inside the ring. These guys tore the house down in probably one of the best cards you ever had at WrestleMania. Like, you remember, you had this match, and then after it, you had Money in the Bank, then you had Orton, Undertaker, and then after that you had Angles, Michaels. 4 fantastic matches. So this match is always kind of forgotten. But really, it's as good as most of them, with the exception of Angles and Michaels, because that's on another planet. But what I'm saying is that Rey and Eddie was a fantastic match. And people, if you want to start criticising me, do, but do not say that this match is not equal to Owen Hart, Bret Hart, because it is. It is that good. This year's opening of WrestleMania is probably going to be Chris Jericho and CM Punk. And if that happens, I think a lot of people could be changing their favourite WrestleMania matches of all, opening matches of all time, because them two have the calibre to do what Owen Hart, Bret Hart did, and what Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero did. Go back and watch some of these matches if you can, people. I'm sure most of them are available on YouTube. Go away and buy the DVD, give WWE more money. It's just, the opening match sets the tone for WrestleMania. And you look at 27, 17, 23, 10 and 21. They had great opening matches, and most of them went on to be very stellar WrestleManias. This has been Gerald Murphy of the International Wrestling Podcast on March 21st. And don't forget that tomorrow your WrestleMania preview starts here with a preview of the Divas match with myself and Brian. Until then, take care everybody.